there's no right or wrong answer to social media, right? Like, there's no like, this is how you do it.
Well,
but
all the AI prompts would work for everybody, right?
But it just, the way I kind of feel is that like your voice is the only thing that's unique to you. Like you have your story, I have mine, and that's the only thing that differentiates us as like people. I have my voice, and I guess some people find it funny or interesting or whatever. So much of this is like validation. If no one's signing your music, I guess people just don't like my music, which is a shitty feeling. But then like, it felt like my life did a 180. Like I was like, damn, like 3 songs in a row got playlisted in the same Disco Land playlist. And it's like, for anyone on any level to think this is worthy of being displayed, and that single was, and it's like, that's really dope. I try and celebrate those little wins.
Yeah.
You know?
Thando, thank you for joining us here on Tiny Table Radio. Appreciate you coming in.
Totally.
You know, I've been looking forward to having you over here. You know, you've produced some really solid records, and I've really enjoyed just like following you on social media lately. So, you know, I'm curious. I haven't really heard the story of how you got into DJing and producing. Can you give me that?
Yeah. I had this friend, his name is Rock Khan. He was like not local, but he was a club DJ in New York, like more like open format type of thing. And I was just young, and I'd never really had anything an aspiration, you know. I just was like, skateboarding was the only thing I really liked. And then as like you get into your 20s, like, what am I gonna do like for my life, you know? Like, and I would just see this dude that was older, like just like chilling on a Monday at 2 p.m. I was like, what does he do? Like whatever that is, that he lives alone in the LES and he's chilling on a Monday at 2 p.m. Like, that's what I want to do, because I'm not like the hardest worker. So I figured out that he was a DJ, and I didn't even know what that was. Like, it wasn't like now where everyone's a DJ. Like, it was a very niche.
How long ago was that?
Like 15, 13 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
And I was like, I just figured that out. And then I was like, what? Like, you only work like 2-3 nights a week, and like you make, like, he made really good money. I was like, who wouldn't want to do that? Like, so that was how I got into it. Yeah.
When did producing get like mixed in with all that?
At the same time, because the way he explained it to me was like, if you want to have like a career and not just be like kind of a hired gun, you kind of have to be like an artist, you know, like where people are coming to see you, whereas as opposed to just being like someone to fill the void for that night, you know. So I started at the exact same time.
I started producing before I started DJing, but I had no idea what I was doing. And then once I started DJing, it actually made learning to produce easier for me, if that makes sense. Because like just understanding the mixer and whatnot. But the main reason, you know, at least for me, was always to like figure out how to be a little unique too, right? So just, you know, anyone to get really good at DJing, there's a lot of people who can get really good, right? So it's like, how do you differentiate yourself? Were you able to figure that out, like how you were able to differentiate yourself in terms of your sound or your style pretty early on, or has that been like an evolution?
No, it's definitely been an evolution. Like, I've always been into dance music, and that's always been what I wanted to do. But it's just, I guess just finding your sound is hard, you know? It's like, everyone could just like copying is like a great place to start, but then like being like, yo, that's a Corey song or a Thando song or whatever, like that's like what people say is like how you like stand out from like the crowd. And it's definitely been an evolution, and I kind of feel like I'm there now. Like, it's like I won't even try and finish something that doesn't feel like me, because I'm just like, I just can't be all over the place. I just have to stick to one thing.
And it sounds like, you know, at least from what I've heard, your recent records have been very, you know, very like house based, like very dance, very clubby, right? I think I've seen you done a collab with David Penn recently, right? So how would you describe Thando sound?
Just like funky, classic, like house stuff, and like probably like a little more musical than like some like tech house type of stuff. You know, like I really have an affinity for like chords and harmony and melody and stuff like that. Like, I'm not like a super like hard like beat person, and I'm not into like techno or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I'd say. Yeah.
Do you have a musical background at all?
Not really. Like I'm a pretty I've like decent at piano, but like I was very tone deaf for a lot of time. Like I'm just music doesn't come naturally to me. Like I
Okay.
have to work really hard.
So going back to the earlier days, then, did, DJing and producing come easily to you? You said you were kind of like not the hardest worker. So was that something that got you to actually give more time and attention and focus than other, activities or hobbies or whatnot?
Totally, totally. Yeah, I mean, if I if I don't like something, I'm just not I'm not interested. You know,
Yeah.
like I've never been good at working like a normal job. Like I just can't be bothered. But yeah, as far as like DJing and producing, it's like I'm passionate about it, so it doesn't feel like work. You know,
Yeah.
it's like sitting down on a computer and messing around like with sounds. Like it's like you could be doing so much like more labor intensive or something you just don't care about, like doing taxes or whatever. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like it never feels like work. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm curious, do you have like a, more of a set schedule each day when you're working on your music?
Honestly, no, I should. I've been honest, but also I've just been moving around a bunch. I just moved apartments, so that takes up a lot of time. And I was kind of living in California for most of this winter.
Okay.
So that was kind of like, it's kind of hard to have a schedule when I was like living between here and LA. And so, no, I don't really have a schedule, but I'm a morning person, like mostly, not super early, but like I don't like work till like 4 a.m. or
Okay.
anything like that.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of guys are just like locked in and don't even know what time it is kind of thing.
yeah, that was like probably more my 20s. I'd say I do stuff like that. Yeah.
When did you start really taking the content game more seriously? I don't want to say seriously because I think a lot of your content actually is like has a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
You did talk about your move out of Forest Hills, which
Yeah.
that was a story that I was tuned into pretty hard there. But you've also, been satirical with certain, house genres, and like, one that is particularly stands out to me is, the How to Be an Afro House DJ one with the scarf. And, we just had kind of music in New York recently anyway. So,
Yeah.
tell me about like when you really decided to step your social game up.
Honestly, it's weird because it like, not to sound arrogant or anything, but it kind of comes natural to me, like having a voice. Like if that's the
not
one
arrogant.
thing. Yeah,
That's not arrogant at all. That's
yeah.
a great gift. What a blessing.
Yeah.
It's so awkward for people.
Yeah, like I don't mind like putting my personal life out there. I'm just like I've always been just a very open book. Like I'll talk about my life. I don't have any secrets. And some people are not like that, which is totally fine too. But I'm just like, yo, I'll talk about like my personal life and like the last breakup I had or this or my mom passed, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
like I'll talk about anything. I don't care like if people are in the comments like, oh, like just talking shit. Like it doesn't phase me. Like every now and then someone will say something flagrant. I'm like, damn, like, you're kind of projecting a little bit there. You don't know me.
Don't, isn't that the case?
But it's funny because I don't feel like I take it seriously. I should take it more seriously because it's been working, like it's like I go viral, not in, like without intention. Like it's
Right.
not like I'm like, yo, I'm gonna grow my brand today. Like it's just
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk shit about my CVS. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like
Go
it's
to the
not-
bodega and do
yeah, it's not like
something
I'm
dumb.
like,
Yeah.
yo, like, well, on Friday, if I post at 8 a.m., like, I'll go viral and, like,
Yeah.
the metrics and, like, like, it's just, like, so, yeah, I don't know if I take it seriously, but I should do even more.
I mean, I think a lot of people could learn a lot from the more laid back and less careful approach to it, honestly, because that is who you are, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not concerned about what someone might say, right?
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
you're just
yeah.
able to put yourself out there without that concern, you
Yeah.
can be much more authentic. And that's probably why you've had these viral moments, because you didn't plan that. You didn't think, oh, this is going to blow up, or oh, I should do this. It's like, okay, this is me, right? And you're putting yourself out there that way. And I think that's probably something a lot of people could learn from, more than trying to make it such a perfect thing, or like, script something that doesn't feel like themselves,
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a struggle I face with myself, because some people that are like kind of purist, they'll be like, why aren't you making like just like breakdowns of your latest song? And I'm like, there's no right or wrong answer to social media, right? Like, there's no like, this is how you do it.
Correct.
Because if there was, then everyone would be successful at it.
Right. Well,
but
all the AI prompts would work for everybody, right?
But it just, it's like, the way I kind of feel is that like, your voice is the only thing that's unique to you. Like, you have your story, I have mine, and that's the only thing that differentiates us as like people. So I just have me, like, I have my voice, and I guess some people find it funny or interesting or whatever. So it's like, maybe I should, it's like, if I'm just like posting myself playing piano, like, I'm not like Beethoven. Like, it's not like, like I'm like Charlie Puth, like, oh, like the key of that table is like 48 hertz. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't have that gift. So it's like,
do you think that it's helped you gain at least exposure with certain labels, or break through with certain gigs and getting booked? Like, have A&Rs reached out to you more because of it?
Totally. That's what I tell some people that think they're like, oh, like, why are you like talking shit about like a neighborhood you live in or something? And I'm just like, the way I look at social media for anything, unless I'm like using hate speech, which obviously I don't, but if you're just like, it's like, if you know me, like, this is all a joke to me. Like, I'm talking about a neighborhood. I'm not talking about like politics or religion or race or whatever. It's just like, I'm just talking about a CVS. Like, it's so not serious.
I mean, I didn't know you in person before this, but it was very clearly satirical to me. It's like, you have this like kind of laid back tone with it, and it just, it's not self-deprecating, but your environment, self-deprecating your environment, which, any good comedian, which you're not trying to be a professional comedian, but like, that's why it's funny. It's like, you're just like, this is normal stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, people will kind of project their own insecurities or whatever they have going on onto you, and be like, yo, you must be miserable. I'm like, dude, like, I'm like reading these comments, just laughing, like, it's all good to me. Like, if I was talking about like, like, I would never trash like a small business or something, because like, that's like messed up. Like, that's someone's
right. Yeah, you're not going that far. Yeah,
but it's like, I'm making fun of a CVS. Like, who cares? Like this is like who cares? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, if I talk about a neighborhood, I'm not like, oh, like making it like political, or like, people would be like, oh, like the liberals are this or that. And I'm like, dude, like, no politics were mentioned intentionally because I don't want to like have a political discussion on my social media.
For sure.
Like,
so how do you handle, that kind of, those kinds of comments, the really negative stuff, or the like, people who are projecting more of their own worldview or frame of things?
Honestly, I used to try and explain myself, and I was like, who cares what a stranger thinks, right? Like, if you're commenting on my page and you're saying something negative, unless like, some people take things more personally than others. Like, I'm just like, if someone is like, yo, you're like a homo or something, I'll just like, yeah, I love dicks. Like, I just troll right back, because it's like, there's nothing I could say to convince a stranger of anything, really, because they're just gonna be like, who are you? So I'm just like, I might as well just troll back, because I am trolling. Like, I'm just joking. Like, I'm not trying to like do political commentary or anything. So if you're gonna like troll me about like my personal life or whatever, I'm just gonna make a joke back, because it's not serious to me.
For sure.
That's my approach.
Let's go back to the music for a little bit. Was there ever a moment or a gig or a show as you were getting started where you really felt like, okay, I can actually do this?
That's a good question. I've never thought about that. I can't think of a moment where it's like, it felt like oh, like, I guess that would be like an I made it moment, right? Like, I've had like highlights, like scoring music for like a Tiffany's commercial, or like signing music with certain labels. Like, that's been like I literally, like, I'm not like a musician by trade. Like, I didn't grow up playing piano, so like all of this is like that I even like someone like would want to have like a publishing deal with me. I'm like, it's all so like every little thing is like such a like a shock to me, you know. So every little thing, and then I guess I haven't had like an I made it moment to me, but I've had like great moments, you know, of like
Yeah.
surprise, like wow, like that was really cool.
Anything that really stands out to you?
You know, like having millions of streams on songs, you know, like working on music with like Duck Sauce, like that got signed to like Defected. Like I'm just like, when I was first starting, like it's like, if you would have told me I'd work with some of these people, I'd be like, that seems impossible. Like I'm like barely making music that's listenable right now. Like so it's all
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there are very few people who try to produce, who do produce, that are able to get to that level. So was it more of just like a grind and a process than like I finally made a song that people are streaming?
Yeah, it's definitely a grind and a process. Like people did not listen for a very long time,
How
and
long?
maybe a decade. You know, like little bites. But like I honestly feel like I started making good music 5 years ago,
Okay.
and for a very long time it was like, you know, I'd have girlfriends like, oh, have you thought about like going to college? Like I didn't finish college or anything like that, and like my mom would be like, are you sure? Like you want to be a musician? You know, like you weren't musical, and it's like I've definitely had plenty of people like kind of question why I was
Sure.
doing this, just out of genuine concern. And so yeah, but it's just the only like it's like I tell you like this is all I know. Like I don't have like a backup plan. I don't have a trade. I didn't graduate college. Like I don't have a family business. Like this is all I know how to do.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Have you ever second guessed it or thought, should I maybe just do something else?
All the
Or like
time.
some low moments?
all the time,
Yeah.
all the time. But it's funny. Like last year was like a really hard. It was the first time I ever wanted to quit. I've been really ambitious, and anytime someone asks like, "You want to quit?" I'd be like insulted. I'd be like, "You mean quit like my life's work? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been doing this for so long, and I've finally made some money." But then like last year I just went through some personal things that just kind of killed my confidence and ambition, you know? And it was like the first time I was like, "Ugh, I just don't know if this is working," even while good things were happening. But it was just a moment of just like kind of losing my confidence for some personal reasons. And then it's weird, like this year I still felt that way. I was like just going through some personal stuff, and I was like, just kind of sucked the life out of me. I was just like, maybe I'm just destined to just like work at Best Buy or something and just kind of like have a family, and just like maybe that's my destiny. Like I had kind of resigned myself to that, and I was like, and then like as soon as I like got out of this really messed up relationship, it's like all these things started happening like right after. I was like, oh, like maybe I'll keep going. Like maybe this is a sign. Like because it's like I felt like nothing good was ever going to happen again. You know, like I thought kind of like I had my little moment, and that was the peak. But it still now I feel like things are happening. So it's like it's reinvigorated me.
Turned a corner a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
What kept you going through that phase?
Good question. I don't know. I mean, it's just. I mean, I've never stopped making music, you know. But it just like I compare music to having a business. You have good years and bad years, and when you go through like a bad period, you know, it's just. And it was like I had my first highs. Like post pandemic was like my first time really feeling like, okay, I'm in the music business now. Like I don't want to talk about money, but like I've like made like some decent amounts of money, you know, and that kind of makes it feel a little real. Like someone, like this made me enough to like pay my rent. Like I never thought this would happen, you know, like making a song that does that. But then when that high like kind of like declines a bit, you're like, oh shit, like I thought the trajectory was just up from here. Like I thought but it's like, you know, there's peaks and valleys, you know, and you just can never predict what's going to happen in music. And career spans are so short, you know, it's like longevity is like really so much harder than having a moment, you know, like sustaining a career for decades is like so many people come and go, you know, So I guess I just kept creating and yeah, just kept creating. I guess that's really the only answer. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't think your destiny is Best Buy if you had to ask
Thank
me.
you.
So.
Thank you. Thank you.
How often? Because I think a lot of DJ producers make a good chunk of their money not through actually the music itself, but more of the gigs and the shows, right? What's that ratio really like for you? Like, how often are you playing?
I play like a decent amount, but it's weird. Like my biggest paydays have come from music, like because I've done music for a lot of other people too,
Yeah. Okay.
so it's not just like my music
Right.
that's making me money and stuff like that. And I can't think of like a ratio, but like I said, like my biggest paydays have been from music production or songwriting and stuff like that. So that kind of get like it's like even if like I don't want to like because like being an artist is so much more than just making music. It's like there's just so many things like so many things have to go right for an artist's career to pan out and for it to stay. Whereas if you have a talent of making good music, that's just undeniable. Like that's it's like being able to build a nice table or any type of skill. It's like you can't deny that, and that will always be valuable, I think. So
for sure.
So yeah.
When you are making music, making songs, can you walk me through kind of your creative process from like start? How do you start? Is it typically always with melody first, drums first? What's that like?
It's everything is different. Like I guess like one thing I could talk about is like I feel like for a like when you're starting out, like you're trying to get singers, like if you're making like song or kind of song based or vocal based stuff, you're trying to work with singers, and it's like once you like kind of get in the game, you realize like they're just trying to like hustle and make money too. Like this is like, especially if they're like 30 plus, like and like that's their job. Like they're not just doing this to like jam and have fun. Like this is their job as a singer songwriter. So like you're trying to work with people and they're like, well, my fee is this. And you're like, oh, like, and you get older and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like this is their job. They're not just handing out their work. So you're trying to work with singers, and then like if you have like a little bit of success, then like people will work with you because like, okay, this might make me money, and it's like and that's totally understandable. Like people have to pay rent and stuff like that.
Sure.
Like they're not just, this is fun and a passion. So that was a long-winded way to say that I get sent vocals sometimes. So yeah, that's how it starts most of the time. Like people send me vocals. Like I work with this one guy, Aaron Pfeiffer, and we work together a lot. And he'll send me vocals, or other people will send me vocals, and it usually starts that way, or a sample or whatever, and then just building something around it.
Before people sent you vocals, how did you get to the point where people were sending you vocals? Like obviously professional singers, there's a fee. So let's say before you were able to cover that fee, or that made sense to you, how were you doing it?
Honestly, what I started doing when I kind of realized like what I wanted to do is like it's funny. I got like a SBA loan and for like 20 grand, and I would just pay people to cover songs. Like it's like I paid this dude $150 to cover like this like the Pharrell song on Beautiful, and he just did like the hook at the end, and that became like a song that did pretty well at radio and stuff. So stuff like that, honestly, and then also samples. And yeah, you might have to pay.
Yeah,
is the you might, or just you can make bootlegs, or and hopefully one blows up.
To get someone who covers, I'm just curious about this, the process of actually getting that cleared to be able to be played on the radio. Is there communication or conversation between the Pharrell team and you and the singer to make sure that that's cleared?
For covers, how it's a loophole that people use, that because you're not using the recording, you're using the melody, and you can clear it with there's these clearance services. I'm blanking on the name, but basically you just clear the melody, and it's a little bit of a legal gray area where like if a song really blows up like hundreds of like and is a hit, like it would be a conversation, but it's not like illegal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you should go and clear it with Pharrell's publisher, whoever that is, and I've done that, and like, cause with people selling catalogs, like publishers are like happy to do that because they're like, oh, like that's money for us,
Right.
So they'll always clear it because most artists don't own their publishing. They've probably sold it to a publishing company. So the publishing company just looks at it as like a payday,
Right.
like of their catalog.
One that stands out to me in the last few years was the Alex Wan's like Milkshake song.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't actually.
It was the
like,
actual.
It was a cover first, but then she heard it
really
and liked it, and then got in on it. And
I
was
didn't
like,
know
yeah,
that.
Cool, this is good. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Hopefully she got paid.
Yeah, no, I think she did. So
yeah.
For you, are there any tracks that you made that you were surprised by how they did, whether you thought that they would do really well and they flopped, or you didn't think much of it and it really took off?
I guess the song that I've had perform the best was probably this song Special, where I took like the end of the Pharrell on Beautiful song, and it was a really funny journey. It started off with a totally different sample that got super messy. I can't get into that really, but it got messy. Other things were involved, and then it was like it started off with a song with Fool's Gold in 2020, and then just it got messy, and then it was like it literally took 3 years to like get to Special from 2020 with another version. And then it was kind of like after 3 years of trying to do this one thing, it was like, I guess 3 years of trying to make this happen is a wrap. And then I was just like, oh, let's try this. And I just took the end of that song and put it over this instrumental, and it just worked perfectly. And it was like, oh shit, like this is how it was meant to go down, like that other thing just wasn't in the cards for me for whatever reason. And that did really well at radio, made a bunch of money at radio. It was in, like people would be like, oh, like it was in rotation on Sirius, and people would be like, oh, like I'm in my car and like listening to this, like, oh, that's super sick. And yeah, it was like, it did really well. And that's like, that was a surprise because so much music comes out that for something to cut through it's really hard.
Do you go through the whole production process on your own from songwriting all the way through to mastering, or do you use other people, or does it kind of depend on the collaboration?
It depends. Like usually I write the music myself most of the time. Sometimes like for complex things, I use this one guy named Easel, who's like an amazing keyboard, just multi-instrumentalist. But if it's just I can do most stuff myself, composition-wise. I do most of it myself. And then like I worked with this one guy, Anton Kukri, who's like a producer out of the Ukraine. We worked a bunch on stuff just because like I think my strong point for a lot of time was just ideas, like really come in with really strong ideas. And I felt like my production wasn't the best for a long, like it was good enough, but not the best for a long time. And now I don't really work with him, but, so yeah. And then as far as mixing and mastering, it's like, that's, it's weird. Like dance music is so technical, like in other genres, the producer or the songwriter are not mixing and mastering.
Right.
But for some reason in dance music, it just is that way. Like it's like a point of pride or something.
Yeah.
And you just get better at it. Like I can do it to a professional level sometimes, and like I'll be like, oh, like this mix is objectively better than this mix, but there are people that are better at it than me. They just all they do all day is mix. So it's like I just can't compete with that because that's not my trade. So I'll just hand it off to people.
And even in the analog days, right, that somebody's just a mixing engineer and someone's a mastering engineer, and it gets passed down the chain, right? So,
Totally.
Yeah, no shame in getting help with that stuff. For
Totally,
sure.
totally.
When you are in the production process, you said, what was there any specific tools or sort of tricks that helped you kind of get to the next level from, okay, this is pretty good, to like, all right, I'm really happy with what I'm making now?
I think something, I'm a really slow learner is what I've learned through making music. Like I've seen so many people like surpass me. I'm just a slow learner with music. It's really just like work, like not work, but it's just putting in the hours, like, and some people just learn faster, things faster than others. It's just the fact of life. And I've been a very slow learner at music, but I think now I'm at a point where I'm confident in my skills. I can hear things pretty well. And I think, yeah, it just, so what was the, like, so I think getting things loud is something that people struggle with, like getting things loud that don't sound too compressed. And I think once I figured that out through distortion and clipping is kind of like was a turning point for me. So it's just because it's like if something isn't loud, unfortunately, like you're kind of like you're shit out of luck, because stuff has to be at a certain level to just sound professional, and so yeah, like just figuring out how to make stuff loud and
Yep.
punchy and just sound. Your music has to sound as good as everything else out there, or else like that's you're in a tough spot, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I think when I started, I would think that a mix of my own sounded really good, but then when I tried to compare it to the loudness of a club track, I was like, man, this is not even close. So yeah, the loudness thing is a good one for sure. Any tracks that you've released recently that you're really excited about, and anything in the works here?
Yeah, it's weird. Like this year, like I was saying earlier, like so much of this is like validation sometimes. Like you're like, oh, like if no one's signing your music, you kind of like that's kind of what was going on. Is like you feel like I guess people just don't like my music, which is a shitty feeling. But then like when I got out of this really messed up relationship, like literally like I was like it felt like my life did a 180. Like I had a million emails from a bunch of really cool people, and so yeah, I signed a bunch of like literally released so much music in the past few months, and yeah, I just put out a song, like a single with these guys, Crypto Ravers, and I was like, damn, like 3 songs in a row got playlisted in the same Disco Land playlist, and it's like I don't know anyone at Spotify. I can't like text like an editor and be like, hey, do this for me. So it's like those little wins when you're just like just a dude like without connections or like
Yeah.
money to just pay people to make them do certain things for you. They feel like huge wins because
Yeah.
like most people's music does not get listened to. It's just the sad fact of the game. Like, there's too much music. So for anyone on any level to think this is worthy of being displayed is, and that single was, and it's like that's really dope, like it's like I try and celebrate those little wins.
Yeah. I'm curious, how long did it take you to sign your first record?
I sent stuff like before, like with like a homies label, but like that didn't do much,
Right.
and that was like pre-pandemic. 2020 is where I would say when like I was like, oh shit, like I feel like I'm getting into the actual music business, like making money and dealing with actual labels that have like actual hits. So 2020 was kind of when I felt like was kind of getting into like the business for the first time.
A few more questions for you here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's been great to have you on and learn about your journey.
Totally.
Knowing what you know now, if you could say anything to Thando when he first started,
Yeah.
what would you tell him?
Shit, that's a really good question. You know, it's like say like look, hindsight is 2020. Like I was just thinking right now, like I would say, oh, don't do this or do that, and it's all a part of the journey. Like every mistake, you know, I don't believe in a higher power, but I just believe in fate, and I think that so I would just say just do it, because there's like, I wish I had a better answer, like, oh, like, do this and you'll be fast tracked, but I just don't believe in that. I think your journey is your journey, and you're gonna get there how you're gonna get there. So to like compare or think like, oh, if that guy would just give me the secret, like I'd be like a multi-platinum producer. It's like, no, like there are no like secrets, it's just it's timing and I guess luck, like just and working hard, yeah.
Really lastly, where can people follow your journey? How can people connect with you?
Social media, Thando, New York, everywhere. And I guess, I forgot to say like upcoming stuff. I guess I have the song with Ophi and David Penn coming out on like the Tool Room sub label, Fool's Paradise, August 22nd. I'm really psyched. With Eric Turner, I should have said that. He's an amazing singer. We connected on Instagram. I don't remember why or how, but yeah, it started off with a sample, and Ophi, who has hits, I sent it to him, and he was like, yo, like, this is dope, but like, what about if we re-sing it? And I was like, the eager me was like, fuck that, it's good, yeah. But I didn't say that, but I was thinking that, 'cause you just want things to happen, you just want shit to happen for you. But then it's like, he was like, what if we re-sang it? So they had a really good songwriter who I'm blanking on the name. I'm sorry to whoever you are. I'll thank you later.
We'll fill it in after this. You tell me who it is.
Yeah, but he wrote it. I was like, oh damn, like that's cool. He was like, I have this one singer, and that one just didn't work out. But then I was like, I have this guy who I've been trying to work with, and he came into the studio, and we did it one way. If I didn't like it, and I realized it wasn't good, and it wasn't not good because of his fault. It was that he just followed how the songwriter sang it, and he needed to impart his own style onto it. So then we went back again, and it was like, whoa, like this guy, how does this guy not have Grammys? Like he has this insane voice. And then like, so he did the track in one take with his own voice. I was like, wow, that's it. And then I was like, do some ad libs. And then he just did these ad libs. I'm just like, oh my God, like that was like enough. Like it was so incredible. Like it was like literally like it was super quick. And I was like, this guy is so good. Wow. And then he sent it to David Penn. I was like, oh, like that'd be cool if he gets on it. And then he got on it, and it was like when it all, like now it's finished and mixed and mastered and signed and coming out soon. I was like, that's why certain people are where they are, because like they can hear something and identify where it can go. And I was like if it had just come out as how it had started, maybe it would have did something, but like this is objectively better. Yeah. And it's like that goes to show like why some people are more successful in music than others, that like they just got it. They got what needed to be done. Yeah. And I was like, really, so working with them was like, oh wow, it was a really cool process to see how like professional songs take shape. So yeah.
Nice. What's the track called?
It's called Always. It comes out August 22nd, and yeah, I really love it. It's like everyone says it about every song they make, but it's I think it's really strong, and I'm excited. Yeah.
Nice. Well, Thando, I really appreciate you coming on today, coming over and hanging out, and really sharing your story about your musical journey. Hopefully next time you're able to make time to get a set in here as well. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing that when we're able to do that. But it was awesome to get to know you a little bit better. So thank you for coming.
Yeah. Pleasure. Right. It was dope.
Take care. Thanks for listening to that latest interview on Tiny Table Radio. It would help a lot if you hit that subscribe button now so I can bring on more guests and keep this show going. So hit that subscribe button now, and we'll see you next time.